We think about giving and we think about money, but giving is so much richer and deeper than that. Giving is a verb. We have to take action.
This is Asha Curran. She's the CEO of GivingTuesday.
What began as a hashtag more than a decade ago has grown into one of the biggest charitable giving days of the year.
Over the last decade, Asha and her team, alongside local leaders from around the world, have created the largest global generosity movement in history. Just last year, nearly 40 million Americans found an outlet to make a positive impact in their communities on GivingTuesday. So for changemakers looking to scale their impact, what can they learn from Asha's experience in turning an idea into a global phenomenon?
It doesn't require everybody to think the same thing. It just requires us to take a moment to reflect, to say, how could I better link arms with my neighbors and with my fellow citizens and build the future that we know that this country is capable of?
This is Stand Together Presents. Stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
I really love to build things, and especially really strange things that haven't existed before.
Years ago, Asha was the Chief Innovation Officer of a very famous New York institution called the 92nd Street Y. While there, she came up with a novel idea.
My job was to reimagine the word community for the 21st century, to think about emerging digital technologies and social media and how they might be used to do good. Late summer of 2012, we had the idea for a day for giving back following the days of consuming Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We thought people might save a little bit of money, maybe they'll donate to their favorite cause. But it was so much more than that.
So Asha's big idea was to create a third holiday, one where people could contribute to nonprofits in their communities. And it started a revolution.
In that very first year, we saw about $10 million in donations. Fast forward 14 years, and the number on the last GivingTuesday was $4 billion, mostly made up of fairly modest gifts. So people were taking this idea and they were proving with every small action that giving is transformational.
Asha and her team learned two huge lessons when building GivingTuesday. First, the organizations that encourage open participation are the ones that scale.
Now, a lot of participation in the United States is about who's getting credit for something, who owns a brand that must be protected. And I think people don't want other people to participate in their ideas without very explicit permission. So we just erased all of those barriers. We just said, no permission needed. Participate on your own terms. If you're doing something good and generous under the GivingTuesday banner, you don't need to check it with us. We've never issued a cease and desist letter. Our logo is not trademarked. When you're talking about a movement, then you have to bend some of those rules.
The second thing Asha and her team learned was that generosity inspires generosity, so you have to make your work seen.
Here's the thing, we hold the perception that we ourselves are generous, that we ourselves want to help, but we don't believe that other people want to help. And when we feel that we want to help and we hold those values, but we don't think our neighbors do, then we act less generous ourselves. So it is so important that generosity be visible because it is highly infectious. So when one person sees another person do something generous, they are much more likely to do something generous themselves. We believe that when people give, they are discovering their real power as citizens of their communities, their countries, or of the world to make a difference. People have learned helplessness for far too long, that unless we have billions of dollars, that unless we have a lot of power, we don't have the ability to make a difference, and that is a lie. The extraordinary thing is that people are generous, and the small actions that people take every day in their own communities are profound because they're done with a person's whole heart and they're done with a dream for what that community could be.
Over a decade ago, GivingTuesday was an idea. Today, it's a movement because they removed the barriers holding people back from doing what they want to do, make a difference. And that movement is only growing.
The idea that giving is selfless is one that's always really bugged me because in my experience, a person is never more themselves than when they give. Far from being selfless, it is the true manifestation of our very best selves when we are being generous. What do we want the future of this country to look like? How can we look toward a future where generosity guides even our most mundane and our most dramatic actions? Do something good, do something generous. We don't need permission. We don't need to sign a contract. You just need to do good.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.